Fire guy, he's riding on lava. Fire guy, yeah. Fire guy, he's back. Level 80. Weapons are plus 18. I've seen people recommend maybe, I should have gone with 23 because apparently, I'm sorry, 17. I should have gone with plus 17. Instead, I went with plus 18. The reason people said 17 is because apparently 18 matches all the way up to 24. I personally don't mind. It's not like my opponents are doing way more damage than me or something. I'm okay with plus 18, but it might be something to consider if you make a level 80 build. Maybe you want to stick to plus 17. Maybe stick to plus 17 for a little bit, try your invasions, make a save, then go up to plus 18, and if you see some huge difference and you don't like it, go back down to plus 17. Revert your save. Me, I don't care. 80 plus 18. I like to, for somber weapons at plus 6, but I'm not using any somber weapons. Yeah, I just pretend each somber weapon is worth 3. That's not accurate, but it's the fastest and easiest way to do it. So this is towards the end of the last session of invasions that I did, and I'm using Eruption on the Greatsword. I totally forgot I had this. Look at the hyper armor. Look at the hyper armor. I want you to look at it. I want you to open your eyes and see how much hyper armor that had. It's insane. I just tanked a jumping attack with a hammer with that hyper armor. Now we're going back in time a little bit. This is before I realized I had Eruption. I didn't realize you could just slap Eruption on a Greatsword. I thought it had to be on like a hammer or something. So I'm playing with Flaming Strike right now. Later on, we're going to have Flaming Strike on the short sword and Eruption on the Greatsword. This is the Lord Sworn Great Sword. Lord Sworn Great Sword. Lord Sworn Great Sword. And this thing has very minimal stat requirements. 16 strength, 10 dex. I've also got a short spear, which is like the only spear I can use, I think. And I'm going to put the Noble's Black Flame Tornado thing on that. But, I keep putting off going to Farum Azula. Because guess why? I can't stop invading. It's so much fun. I'm having a blast with this build, which is awesome. This invasion right here, probably pretty heavy on the sword stuff. Later invasions, you're going to see invasions that are heavy on throwing fireballs around. I get to pick. I can do both. I can do either one. I can do and or. And I love that. I absolutely love it. I'm typically not much of a throw spells around type dude, but it's so much fun. I'm using the Giant's Fire Seal for my casting. I would have better stat scaling, spell boost. I would have better spell boost if I used a different Sacred Seal. If I used the Godslayer Seal, the number says it's higher than the Fire Seal. However, since I'm only using spells like Giant's Flame, Take Thee, Flame of the Fell God, Burn O Flame, these spells all get an extra boost from the Fire Seal. So, I tested it out, and even with the Godslayer Seal's better spell boost. I keep saying stat boost. I apologize. Even though the Godslayer Seal has better spell boost, the Fire Seal is the way to go for me. Because I'm using all these giant incantations and Fire Monk incantations. Later on, I'll have Noble's Presence. I like it. I just didn't use it enough or like grab any clips of me using it. I like it. It's cool. It has its uses, and I have this extra memory slot anyway, so why not use it, right? So I tested it out, and Noble's Presence, even if I use the Godslayer Seal, it only gets like an extra like 11 damage or something like that. Whereas when I use the Fire Seal, On these fire incantations, I get like an extra 51 damage, which is noticeable. It almost feels like Noble's Presence isn't actively getting one of its... Like, it should be better from two different directions. It should be better because it has better spell boost, the Godslayer seal, and it should be better because the Godslayer seal should be boosting it further, since it's a God-slaying miracle. Or incantation, I'm sorry. However, the amount of better that it gives me seems like one of those two is not working. I don't know if that's the case, but like I said, when I cast a fire incantation with the fire seal, I'm doing like 61 extra damage, or 51. I think it was 51. 51 extra damage. And when I use the Godslayer seal and do a Godslayer incantation, I'm only getting like 11 extra damage. So it doesn't seem like it's working, you know. And it's possible that that's intended and that's just the way it's supposed to be. Maybe Noble's Presence doesn't get a boost for some reason. As an example, Catch Flame does not get a boost from the fire seal. Seems like it should, but it doesn't. So maybe, you know, maybe there's something similar going on with Noble's Presence. I'm not sure why it's not getting a bigger boost, but it definitely feels like it should be getting more than 11. But since it's only getting 11, and the fire seal is giving me 51 better damage on the fire spells, despite having a worse spell boost, I have stuck with the fire seal. Let's see. Oh, my Wondrous physic. My Wondrous physic is fire damage up, and in a lot of these invasions, you're going to see it's giving me 50% of my FP back. Later on, it's going to change, and it's going to be fire attack up with spells and FP are free for 10 seconds. Spells and FP is free for 10 seconds, allows me to turn the fight into a Michael Bay movie. Like, it's Transformers or whatever. Everything's on fire, everything's exploding all the time. And one of two things will happen. Either one, I will set off enough explosions that people behave erratically and they don't know what's going on and they move. And now if they were like camped out next to a Grace in a small room or something, now they have to like move around and think about going somewhere else and trying another, you know what I'm saying? They're not just going to stand there and eat a bunch of explosions. The second thing that might happen is they stand there and they eat a bunch of explosions, and then I win. So either way, 10 seconds of free explosions works in my favor, and I'm cool with it. So the spells we're using. Giant's Flame, Take Thee. It's a big fireball. It knocks people down. It does pretty good damage. Flame of the Fell God. It's a big fireball. It floats around. It kerplodes. It does pretty good damage. Flame of the Fell God costs a lot of FP, as you just saw, but the fact that I can true combo it into, you know, Greatsword hits on these rooftops in places like this is where Flame of the Fell God absolutely shines, is in areas like this, where real estate is prime, and you have to, you know, be mindful of where you step, and where you can move, and where you can't. And Flame of the Fell God is basically a roll that someone owes me. They're going to have to give me that roll at some point. That gives me an opportunity to roll catch, or they get hit with a fireball and they go flying off the rooftop. Anything can happen. So we used Eruption earlier in the video. Now we're back to Flaming Strike. So, like I said, Eruption was something I figured out towards the end of my last play session. I absolutely love it. The fact that you're seeing so little Eruption in this video is a crime, and I have reported myself, and I'm holding myself accountable. So, you know, it's pretty serious. The next time you see this, there will be much more Eruption. The next time you see this build, there will be more Eruption. But we're back to using Flaming Strike, which, as I've gone over, is a true combo as long as you hit the Flaming Strike's fire on the end of its active frames. someone in the comments of the last video called that a meaty combo, which is apparently like a fighting game term, which is pretty cool, I guess. I like Street Fighter. I just don't think there should be much crossover between Street Fighter enthusiasts and Dark Souls PvP enthusiasts. We should probably keep these two communities separate for everyone's benefit. Yeah, Flame the Fell God. What else have I gone over? Giant's Flame Take Thee. I've gone over that one, I think. It does a lot of damage and knocks people down. That's pretty much it. We're also using Burn, O Flame, which is like Firestorm, if you're familiar with the old Dark Souls games. Now, in Demon Souls and Dark Souls 1, you could cast Firestorm on a boss, and they would just sit there if the boss was big and unable to move, you know, because of how big it was. If it wasn't a very agile boss, you would just melt him with Firestorm, because it would just have to stand there and eat it. And that's back in Elden Ring. In Dark Souls 2 and Dark Souls 3, they started like playing with different mechanics so that bosses wouldn't take more than one pillar of fire damage. Dark Souls 2, it wasn't as bad. Dark Souls 3, it was terrible. But now it doesn't. If you're fighting a big immobile type enemy and you can cast Burn O Flame and it sits there and it takes, you know, 2 or 3 pillars worth of damage, it just eats the boss's health bar. It's awesome. I love it. Players will tip. The problem with Burn O Flame in PvP is most of the time I hit I'll hit people with it. They're trying to jump attack because everyone spams jump attack, which is fine. Spam it. I don't care. But they get hit with it and they take, you know, 600, 800 damage and they go flying up in the air. I don't know. I don't know if 2 pillars can hit or not. I suspect they probably can because the spell lasts for a while. So I suspect they could probably get hit by 2 pillars. It's just not something that I'm seeing happen. Not yet, but yeah. Also, From Software, please fix your servers. I know there's way more people playing this game than you anticipated. On Elden Ring's slowest day, it has more players than Dark Souls 3 ever had, on its busiest day. I understand that From Software servers are going through a lot right now. But man, I could have won. I'm not saying I would have, but I could have beat 3 players there, and I would have felt like a champion. And instead, I only got to beat 2 because one of them got sent home. And that's less cool. Miyazaki literally taking food out of my mouth because you would have watched this video here on youtube.com/Saint Riot. You would have watched this video 100 times if I'd beat 3 guys right there. You would have watched this video 100 times and you would have wrote a letter to every advertiser who puts an ad on this video, and you would say, I'm buying your product because I saw it on saintriot.com/YouTube on the internet. That's what you would have said. But because that guy just got sent home on some bogus network error, now you guys aren't gonna do that, right? And so Miyazaki literally taking food out of my children's mouths. Saint, you don't have any children. My children's mouths are unfed on this day because of Miyazaki. So here's another invasion where we beat 3 people, just in a different way. And, you know, we actually beat 3 people instead of some garbage where one of them gets sent home. I mean, they get sent home when I kill them. With death. I love this, like, small room. It's got, like, a really high ceiling. So Flame of the Fell Gods works in here pretty well, as you saw. And this dude's internet kind of lags out, which let me give them some props. Okay, his connection sort of went laggy for a second, but he just had 2 phantoms come in and come out in real fast succession, and he never did the Miyazaki shuffle from Dark Souls 3. So at least they fixed that, you know? It's just now we just need the players to actually not get kicked out. And you, a weakling invader, you're like, Saint, I like when they get kicked out, because I can't win otherwise. And to you, I say that it breaks my heart that you're not taking full advantage of the network and the PvP and playing together. I don't like it when they get kicked out. You know, I want to win. I want to feel like I won. If I lose, I lose. But I want to feel like I won. You know, look at that. Look at these cheap bleed builds. I'm just playing. It's fine. What am I even talking about, bro? This is the problem when I make these videos and they are more than 15 minutes. I'll give you some insight into Saint Riot and how my videos come to be. These videos that are long, like over 10 minutes, what am I supposed to say? So I just start saying stuff, okay? And then I'll catch something when I'm editing the video and I'm editing the commentary. I'll catch something I said, and I'm like, oh, that's stupid. I need to change that. And so I go back and I re-record it, okay? But when I re-record it, I have to talk for another, you know, however long, 20 minutes. This video's 22 minutes long, almost 23 minutes long. I have to go back and re-record it. And when I go back and re-record it, now I'm even worse. You know, I've already said something stupid. I've run out of stuff to talk about 20 minutes ago. Now I have to re-record it. And as I re-record it, I just start saying insane nonsense. Okay? But you know what I mean? Look, I cast the fireball. The dude blows up. Just enjoy it. Why do I have to even, you know what I'm saying? Why do I need to talk at all? Exploder. By God, he's on fire. Oh my God, that's a human being. You know? That's funny, at least. I don't know what else to tell you. It's a cool build. And I've still got 6 minutes to talk. This dude trying to one-shot me with Royal Knight's Resolve jump attacks on Greatswords, which would be brutal. Absolutely brutal if it hit me. And, yeah, I would like From to fix their thing. That's what I would like. Thankfully, this guy never... I would like for people to not be disconnecting. Oh, and what I was going to say, for those of you who are invading, and you say, I like the connection errors, because it helps me win more. I would say that those connection errors are still costing you more than they're giving you, because they're also the reason that you invade and you're doing pretty good, and then exactly 3 minutes into the invasion you get kicked out. Or like you'll invade and for 10 minutes straight you get nothing but network errors. Like that's the same issue, you know, that's kicking out these phantoms. So yeah, sure, sometimes it works to your benefit, but sometimes it doesn't. Throwing fireballs is fun. I just blew that dude up with a fireball. We hit somebody with Firestorm. What a good time. What an awesome time we're having at level 80 with plus 18 weapons, plus 6 somber. I just pretend that somber weapons are worth plus 3 upgrade apiece. Is that accurate? No. They're worth 2.5. But I am not doing that much math, Miyazaki. You can't make me. You are not my math teacher. I was going to say my math teacher's name, but I don't remember it. Look at the iframes on that. How cool is that? I've never seen that before. Those were pretty good iframes for an Ash of War. I like it. I don't know if that's like only on that weapon or if you can put that on other weapons. But seems pretty neat. I'm already thinking about my next build. I really want to make like a carrion assassin who uses carrion slicer, piercer, greatsword, Adula's greatsword. I really want to make like a melee caster person. I think that could be a lot of fun. I really want to make a low faith, high dex paladin type dude using Miquella's Night Sword because the R2s on it are beautiful. They're so cool looking. But I don't know what miracles to put on that build. I would like to have like minimal type faith on that build. But I would still like to use some cool faith spells. They won't be fire spells. They would be like you know, they would be like paladin-y type spells if we could get those. It's like lightning maybe. Some of those dragon spells would be cool, but those not the dragon head spells. I think those look dumb as hell. But like the red lightning dragon spells, those look awesome, but they have like 40 faith requirements, which is pretty insane. So I'm not sure if we would be able to pull something like that off. Yeah. Hey, we have Eruption again. God, I love Eruption. Did I tell you guys I love Eruption? I love it. I love it. You know, when I had this build in Dark Souls 3, I used the Onyx Blade, and I was really disappointed because the Godslayer Greatsword, which has a similar move, a similar Ash of War to the Onyx Blade's old weapon art, I was really bummed that that the Godslayer Greatsword didn't work on this build, because I really loved that Greatsword specific Pyromancy weapon ability. And man, when I played with Eruption, it just instantly filled that void in my heart. The last video that I made on this build, I went over why it wasn't working, why Godslayer's Greatsword didn't work on this build. If you're interested in my reasoning, there's another video with this very build, and you can watch it. Basically, stat requirements were just insane, and it's actually a quality weapon. That hides that it's a quality weapon. Looks like a faith weapon, actually a quality weapon. But yeah, check out the hyper armor on Eruption here. It's great. Also, the roll catches. Just roll catch. Hell, get in there. Look how much damage, though, the Carrion Slicers did. That was 2 Carrion Slicers, and I think I was at full health, and it took me to less than half, which is pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. I really want to make that build. Carrion Slicer, Carrion Piercer, Carrion Greatsword, a Duelist Greatsword, I think is what it's called. I think that could be a lot of fun. And it would be similar to my Dark Souls 3 build that had the Hazel Pick, Adam Barker's old sorcerer build, which is great. So now we're back to the short sword. People ask me why the short sword. 1, low stat requirements, but 2, more importantly, it has the moveset that I like, which is all thrusts on heavy attacks. All heavy attacks are thrusts, one-handed, two-handed, first R2, second R2, all thrust attacks. And I love that. It's an actual shame that it didn't get that moveset on other straight swords, but I understand why it didn't. I see a lot of people complaining about great swords not having thrust heavy attacks two-handed, and there's a reason for that, I think. If you've ever played Bloodborne PvP, the Holy Moonlight sword had pokes, heavy pokes for its heavy attacks, and with hyper armor, it's just an absolute beast. It's just a beast. In a game where you can have passive poise, you would just be melting people. Look at this. Look at the flaming strikes on the short sword. How cool is this? And the catch fire. Oh, it's so good. Look at, God, I love this build. I love this build. And you love it too. Saint, I can't wait to play this build. Well, I mean, you can make your own build. But if you want to use mine, that's what it looks like. Plus 18 weapons. Have fun. Enjoy. Thanks for watching. Until next time. Later, y'all.